Good morning from the Minnesota State Fair. It is a Friday feast, 9 to noon. Look at all these wonderful people in the stands already. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday at the Minnesota State Fair. The host of 9 to noon, Paul Allen, you're going to get to hear from him later on in the show. He's currently in Denver. So he is in Denver awaiting Friends and Family Night, preseason game number 3. So I'm Nordo. I'll be here for the show this morning. And give a round of applause. Basically, he left the Friday feasts. He moved out of state, but he's still here almost as often as he's in Utah. It is Fantasy Football World's Paul Charchian, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
How are you doing, Charchian?
It's great to be back.
It is good, right?
The weather's beautiful. Although I understand, are we going to get rain like every day for the next week and almost the entire fair?
That's why the getting is good this morning.
Yeah,
it is absolutely gorgeous.
Here, I think. Yeah,
this is a cool experience, 9 to noon, because Charch, in all the years, I'm thinking, man, this is my 13th or 14th fair as part of 9 to noon. This is the very first time you've ever been here on a Friday morning on time.
That is a fact.
That is an amazing new thing for you.
I'm coming in hot right now. I'm a ball of anxiety trying to get here on time, and it never works out. It's always slower, harder. I've tried every hack in the book.
Yeah.
I've tried the bus. That doesn't work. I've tried different ways to get in. Do you go Snelling? Do you go Como?
Right.
I have tried parking way off and jogging in. I think I've tried it all. There's no beating the lines at the fair if you want to be here now.
Right.
Now,
have you ever tried leaving earlier?
Well, that involves, like, altering my lifestyle, and we're not going to do that either. And then I got to get up early. But how early do you have to get here to make it easy? I don't want to be here at 6 a.m.
Okay.
The sun's barely cresting.
The beautiful breeze. It doesn't smell yet.
Nothing's open. Yeah, it doesn't smell yet. There is that.
So I gave you a ride today.
Thank you for the ride.
And you asked for a lift, and, it's like you're putting me out, and this is an inconvenience.
I am. Yeah, it is.
But I wouldn't do it. I mean, if I was just a general, average, dignified person, I would have lied or come up with an excuse as to not do it. But selfishly, I needed to make sure that at 9:05 I wasn't doing 20 minutes of free show by myself.
That's right.
While you sent me pictures from the bus line.
Which is what I was going to do, take the bus.
Giving me incredibly unrealistic times of arrival.
That's right.
So we are here. It's a football and fantasy feast. And, of course, the Vikings are going to dominate this conversation 8 p.m. this evening.
Now, before we get to the Vikings,
Yeah.
You said this is year 13 for you.
I believe it is,
This is something like year, 30 for me. You don't know how good you have it right now.
What do you mean?
You weren't here at the operation that we had before we had this booth. We've had this booth for the better part of, I would think, 20 years. Before that, we had our spot that we broadcast from was a table that was right off of one of the main streets. So we're right in front of one of the main streets.
Yeah.
And, if you can imagine this table right here, but the other side of this table where the TV is, that's just the street. And so we'd be doing the show, actively trying to entertain and engage and tell stories and talk about, usually football this time of year. And there's just people that would walk right up to you and they would just stare at you. They're 2 feet away from you and they're just chilling, watching, staring.
So what are we going to do about the final 53 here and border battle week 1, and they're just on you?
They're on you. And then even worse than the people that were directly in front of you, 2 feet away from you, watching you toil, were the people that would come up and go, where's the Pronto Pops? Where's the Pronto Pops? And you're trying to do the show. Excuse me. Pronto Pops.
Yeah, we're on a radio show right now.
Yeah.
Where's the reptile booth?
Right.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
They have a snapping turtle there.
Correct.
So that sort of thing for a long time.
Yeah, right,
okay.
Right. So this is a
little more intimate, though. I mean, you get to do. We want to get to know our listeners.
Very intimate. Yes. A few of them crop dusted us, I think, intentionally.
Well, again, that's the nature of the state fair.
If you're going to let the public be, 2 feet away from your broadcast booth, that's going to happen.
Well, I think you just have to be a little more disarmed at the fair because it's the sights and the sounds and it's the smells and it's shoulder to shoulder and it's summertime and it's not 95, thankfully, now, but it has been in the past. You have to blend in with that and just enjoy it for 12 days out of the year.
Now, it's funny how things change from day one of the fair yesterday to, 11 days later? What is it, 10 days?
Labor Day,
whatever that is. I'm going to call it 11 days.
Let's call it 11 or 12 days.
By that time, the weather's changed a lot. Usually, you hit the 95 at the beginning of the fair. You don't get the 95 11 days later. I mean, this is where the season, the fall starts to creep in right here. By day 11, it's pretty moderate. You do see it just in the 11 days, the change in weather.
I absolutely love the fair. And I'm glad we're here. And I'm glad our friends are here with us in the stands right now as we get through. And let's get a little business out of the way because Mesh Besher and Spence has provided all of you the wonderful opportunity to be the Rube of the day. Typically, Rube would have a negative connotation to it, but I'm a 41-year-old Rube. Vikings fans, Minnesota sports fans, we are all Rubes. We sweat this together, and we love it. You have the chance to be a Rube of the day simply by scanning these QR codes on the left and right side of our booth. One lucky winner is going to get $100 at the end of each day, and then there's like a super Rube, like just the Rube of all Rubes. At the end of the fair, the Rubiest of Rubes. You're going to win Vikings-Packers tickets for Week 1 border battle. And how ready are we for that, man? Because we're going to get through this today. We're going to talk about JJ, man. Caleb Banks is out of shape. What are we going to see tonight? Again, I refer to the third preseason game as friends and family because don't expect much. Who's going to be under center, etc. But one of you Rubiest of Rubes will get border battle tickets plus $200 in game day cash. And all it takes is you just scan that thanks to our buddies at Mesh Besher and Spence.
Well, is there any qualification to this? I mean, can just anybody come up and scan it and they've got the same odds as anybody else who scans it?
Yeah.
How do you prove your rubedom?
If they get up real close, they ask us various questions while we're on air. They cropped us. You basically set out the criteria a few minutes ago.
That really is it.
So I think it's super easy, in fact, to just scan it. And, of course, our merch booth back there, tons of shirts and everything. Everyone's going to get a free coupon for a Chick-fil-A sandwich with any purchase at the merchandise booth. So
I didn't know that.
All we do is give.
That's pretty nice.
That's all we do is give.
They got a new sandwich I'm very interested in. So the bun is waffles.
Okay.
And then it's got bacon.
Yeah.
And then it's got the spicy chicken sandwich. And then it's got the maple syrup over the whole thing. What do you think of that?
They pour the maple...
they pour the maple syrup, right? You can dunk, or they give you a container of maple syrup.
Yeah.
I think most normal people would pour it on the sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, you look at meat charts, you mention that, and you're like, well, he's about to Speedy Gonzalez way through a Chick-fil-A and get 5 of them.
That's right. I'm going to be doing the show by myself.
It's a little decadent for me.
Is it?
Yeah, the syrup's too much. It's too sweet. Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a decadence line for you, that there was ever a line to be crossed.
There is, in fact.
Okay.
And
that's it?
Yeah, it's syrup and then it's sticky.
Yeah.
But at any rate.
You're such a dainty eater.
I am.
Okay.
That brings us to Game 3 tonight. What are you looking forward to in Denver this evening, Mr. Charchian?
Have we announced a quarterback yet?
No, I don't believe we have.
I don't believe we have either. It would be crazy not to give JJ some long reps. In my opinion, assuming the foot injury's okay.
Assuming.
Assuming. Let's give some long reps because what do you lose? We're still trying to figure out who's the number 2 quarterback. We want to find out, are we going to put ourselves in a position where we learn more about J.J. McCarthy than we already know? Are other teams going to learn a little something about J.J. McCarthy? Can he potentially raise trade value if that's the route this team wants to go? Or just simply give you more comfort that if anything happens to Kyler Murray, you feel more comfortable with who you've got in J.J. McCarthy. Wentz is very much a known quantity for me. Both with his long track record in the NFL, what we saw him do in this offense last year, and then what we've seen in preseason action just looked like just regular competent veteran play. And JJ has been all over the place. Some really good plays and some real head-scratching plays. Let's see what happens with JJ in this one. I don't know what kind of support he would get, what the offensive line would look like, which receivers are on the field, but I wouldn't mind a longer look at Ty Felton and Miles Price as well. So I hope we get a long look at JJ. I'd like to see JJ play half this game if you left it up to me, and Carson Wentz would play none of this game.
It's not generally helpful to go so far back and kind of connect with his rookie season because we've seen a lot change over the course of the last 2 years.
Have we?
I think so. His rookie, the small sample size that we got in 2024, there was such a level of confidence that we no longer see. And it just feels like there's been, in combination with the Knicks, right? First it's the knee, that's all at 2024. And then it's an ankle here, it's a hand there, it's a concussion here, etc. And just the degradation. Because we went into this camp as realistic or otherwise that it was for a competition. The idea of Kyler versus JJ. And maybe in the end, JJ always had to be otherworldly, and Kyler just didn't have to fall on his face. So we get all that, and Kyler was the choice. Now he's potentially playing on a Friday night, either to maybe there's a breath, a chance, a hint, a whiff of him being number 2, or raising his. I mean, this worm has turned in just a couple of weeks, Charch. That's kind of glaring.
Well, okay, so it feels like the worm has turned to most of the Vikings fan base on J.J. McCarthy in the last 2 weeks since Kyler Murray was declared the starter.
Yeah.
But I believe the reality is the moment Kyler Murray signed with this team, it was already over. They never said that publicly.
And that was the most likely thing.
And, I think they had assured Kyler that barring the unforeseen, you will be our starting quarterback. And they did, I think, leave the door open just a smidge in case J.J. McCarthy rolled in as a different person and it had all clicked.
Just a crack.
In case. That did not happen in training camp. And so the Vikings very quickly announced Kyler Murray as their starter. And then now it feels like, okay, we thought we had a competition for quarterback 1. Do we have a competition for quarterback 2? I have been contending for quite a while that no, not really. That this coaching staff would much rather go to war with Carson Wentz.
You always see it clearly, Charch.
Well, not always, but I do. Ryan Matthews. I believe that this coaching staff, if this coaching staff needs to win in week 1, something happens to Kyler Murray, and they need to finish out a week 1 game, the choice is going to be Carson Wentz and just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers.
Yeah. Right?
Just throw a catchable pass to Justin Jefferson, to T.J. Hawkinson, to Jordan Addison, and let them go be special. And J.J., from the J.J. we've seen, you just don't know if he's going to do the easy things well. Will he get the ball into the hands of Justin Jefferson? I don't know the answer to that, but then in the second half of last year, the answer was no.
Yeah.
And that can't happen again. So, if I don't think for everybody who understandably says J.J. McCarthy needs to be the number 2 because you invested so much, he's young, I believe the better answer is he's not ready. You can't afford to lose Justin Jefferson. You know what Justin Jefferson got put through last year? A lot of guys walk on that stuff, or it turns negative, or they say things out loud, or whatever. I don't want to do that with the Vikings' best player. I want to make sure Justin Jefferson is happy as a Viking, that I don't have to roll into next offseason sweating whether or not he's going to be here because we lost another season on a quarterback who didn't ultimately end up developing. Now, I think the fan base, and I'm looking at people nodding over here as I'm talking, which is great. I usually don't get any positive feedback to anything I say. This is really nice. I think they've come to accept where J.J. McCarthy is right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of delusion left in this fan base about where he is right now. I think there is I think there's reasons for
the delusion
division.
Exists. Not with this particular group of fine, educated sports fans who are nodding along with you, but the delusion exists. I think with number 9.
I think the only question is some people think there's still a future for him as a Viking starter.
Well, it's a projection of their own wants.
Yeah.
Because we are so freaking tired of going down this road and having these conversations and spending segment after segment after segment. We have scars, like Christian Ponder-sized scars and some other things that put us in a spot where we are projecting JJ did this in the Bears game. Well, he was largely ineffective for 3 quarters, and then he had a great quarter. He did this in the kiddies game. Well, defensively, we put him in great spots because we sacked Jared Goff 5 times. The circumstances and weaving our way through, and then how we look at that in a biased manner. I think it's the projection because we want our 10th overall pick to work out. Well, like I'm not trying to sprint to cutting him, sprint to trading him. But I am at the same time where you are, Charch, where if Kyler needs a spell on the bench, if he gets nicked up, you got to put the North Dakota kid in there.
All right, let's do an ad hoc poll with the people watching right now.
Yes.
Let's fast forward a week or so, and the Vikings cut down to 53. Show of hands, how many people think by then J.J. McCarthy will be traded away to a different team? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's about a quarter. That's about a third.
No, that's okay. I think the majority of people
will be traded away.
Yeah.
All right. How many people think he'll be released outright? Okay, we only got one of those. And then how many people think the team will carry 3 quarterbacks and J.J. will be one of the 3? Wow. Okay, that's about a quarter. The overwhelming sentiment here is that JJ's going to be traded.
They're ready to move on.
It's a modestly large sample size.
We got the new GM in the house. There's no connection to the quarterback. He has no reason to try and move forward. Seattle has a history of cutting cords when cords need to be cut, maybe even earlier than they should be, but are happy to do it. Okay.
Okay, well, let me ask. Okay, so since this group believes that JJ's going to be traded as the highest likelihood, who here thinks the Vikings will get a 5th-round pick or better for JJ? One person, 2. We got 2. How many think it'll be a 6th-round pick? Okay, we got about 10. How many think it'll be 7th, or it'll have to be 7th at that point? And that's the balance.
How many think we'll have to give away a pick?
Right. It's happened before, the Brock Osweiler trade.
Oh, my goodness.
It's happened before.
How about that flash in the pan? Got like a $72 million deal from the Texans or something, and what a disaster that thing turned out to be. 3 good
games for the Broncos, and then hit free agency at just the right time.
So, I had always sat here at Charch and thought to myself, that unless there's a push internally, how agents work that whole game, or if he's it's so untenable, I can't even have him in the QB room throwing fits, the immaturity of it all. I thought that would be the only reason they'd move on from him. So it's difficult. I will truly be surprised if they just say it's over, and something, in my opinion, would have had to have happened internally before they make that decision.
Well, that may have already happened internally.
And maybe that's why we're starting to see a little wave and birdies chirping and all of those things at the idea of this being a possibility. I can't see him being outright released, but maybe.
Well, the problem is nobody's buying, right? So if the team has decided they're moving on from J.J. McCarthy, and our sample size of the people here would believe he's going to be traded, but what if there's no buyer? Because everybody knows the Vikings aren't committed to J.J. McCarthy. Then what? That's your release scenario. If you've decided J.J.'s not part of your future and nobody will even give you a 7th-round pick, that's your release scenario. It's still out. It's still out there.
The only thing I could see is you're releasing him, so there's whatever the waiver process is, etc. But somebody just here, I'll give you a 2029 6th, and just beat everybody. I don't know how many people are going to be running in lines here. The Pronto Pup might have more intrinsic value universally.
Yeah, maybe it's come to that. It's come to that. But don't you find it interesting where the fan base is, right? So, again, small sample size, the people in the stands here.
Yeah.
This fan base is accepted where they are with J.J. McCarthy.
I think that's good.
I think acceptance is part of the healing process.
Is that the end of the stages of grief?
It's not the final of the 7 stages of grief, right, is acceptance. I think that's where this fan base is right now. And
I think they're just ready to see games that count, and whoever is playing quarterback, in this case Kyler, just go win some freaking games, please.
Well, that would be nice if Kyler would go win some games. It puts us back where we were. You were talking about all the rotating quarterbacks. It puts us where we were in the days of Case Keenum. Case Keenum, Bridgewater, Castle, Ponder. This era. Gus Frerotte, Tavares Jackson. We're back.
Kelly Holcomb.
We're back to
Brooks
that
Bollinger.
as a franchise. we had quarterback stability and good play.
I came here for positivity.
Yes.
I'm not sure what I walked into here.
Yeah, well,
we're going through that list of quarterbacks. But
former Vikings linebacker Chad Greenway, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
How about that?
Hey.
Just walk through the window, and here I am.
Yeah, that's
we're going to
it.
be on the radio.
Hey, you know what we should do? Let's pause and let's reset, find some positivity, and chat with Chad.
Who invited Charch to this?
Or we'll spend next segment just listing quarterbacks that played during his tenure with the Purple. But it is 9 to noon. It's a Friday feast. And later on today, TimberTech set list as it is, TimberTech decking, timbertech.com. Ben Lieber is going to join us at 10 a.m. He's going to be, of course, part of the broadcast crew out in Denver tonight, so we'll chat a lot of football with him at 10. The host of the show, PA from Denver, 11:35 today, so we'll get final thoughts from Vox. This will probably be part of that conversation. And then Chad Greenway, right around the corner, football topics, fantasy topics. I got all kinds of stuff to throw at Charch throughout 9 to noon today. So happy that Charch was able to be here with me, Nordo, and so happy that you're here with us as well. Thanks for listening to The Fan. Much more to come from the Minnesota State Fair next.
Thanks to Mesh Besher and Spence. You're listening live to KFAN at the State Fair on...
Welcome back, 9 to noon. A dramatic pause with the instrumental there. The program director just absolutely clomping on 9 to noon here at the fair.
Who invited him?
It's a Friday feast. It's Nordo and Paul Charchian in for PA today. As I mentioned earlier, you'll hear from PA later on. But now officially joining us, Chad Greenway, number 5'2", Minnesota Vikings linebacker in the mix.
Happy to be here.
It is good to see you.
It's good to see you. The main gate was a little busier than I expected. Took me a little while to get through, a little clomp there, but I made it. And a good crowd so far, and it's a beautiful morning.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
Well, logistically, kids back in school maybe a week early because of the late Labor Day.
They're not
Mine are back
yet.
on Monday.
Next week.
Yep. And so
they're a real clomp in the summer, those kids.
They're
get them back to school.
When the camps are done, man. When there's August is just brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was a fun month, but it's time. They're bickering and fighting, and you know how that goes.
Right.
Yeah. Every house is the same this time of year.
Hi, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Yeah,
man.
all right. So
welcome back.
On the way in,
how long are you back for?
It's a long stretch
He
because
basically lives here now.
I wanted to do
couldn't leave us
Friday football feast, as you know.
Yeah.
Saturday is the fantasy show, Fantasy Football World.
Okay.
And then next Friday, football feast, and then the final Saturday. Yeah.
So you like Airbnb and something, or what are we doing?
I'm staying downtown.
You're probably Four Seasons downtown.
No.
Yeah,
no.
15th floor.
No.
Someplace with complimentary robes and slippers.
Yeah. Massage.
There's a spa in the mix.
Yes.
You don't have to go outside to get to Manny's, those sorts of things.
Well, that is true. I don't have to go outside to get to Manny's where I am, and that's not a coincidence.
Well, that is the way to come back, is just to do that.
Yeah, that's
easy.
not bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, speaking of Manny's and fantasy football, yesterday morning, I'm walking by Manny's, and I can see all the servers and everything, and they're holding their fantasy draft internally, and they waved me down because one of the owners couldn't make the draft.
I love it.
So I jumped in and executed the draft.
What'd you charge him?
I got the Manny's cut.
Yeah. Okay. I knew there was something in it for
That's
you.
right. That's right. Yeah, that was a good deal.
Got the free Manny's deal. The silver. It's a silver platter. Isn't the silver platter over there or something like that? The free one,
I don't think so. Somebody's got a butter knife or something, but that's not Manny's.
Okay.
I think that's somebody
all right. Well,
else.
that's good. That's a good free grab on the walk by.
Not bad. I believe J.J. McCarthy should play a lot in today's game.
Yeah.
What do you think? Assuming the foot's all right.
Yeah, but I walked up to you guys talking about kind of the clomp, right, of the quarterbacks and the history, and this fan base is looking for this and looking for that. I think I tend to think a fan base this time of year, what you have is you have hope. You have a roster that's got a lot of talented players on it. You have an exciting quarterback situation that we're walking into that's new. And this time of year, if you're a Vikings fan and you've lived through this since '61, you know how this goes, but you still find a way somehow, including me now as a fan, to have hope that this is the season. And as you should, because the dawn of a new year, everybody's 0-0. Our situation is what it is. But we have a lot of good players. We have a really good roster. And we have a quarterback that might be able to take us over the top. We don't know until you turn the lights on, the game start. And what I don't like about the preseason now in this new era of the NFL is you don't get to see these guys.
Not much.
And you are kind of a back in day.
You're just bitter because you had to play in 4.
I'm not 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but I'm closer to that than I am to what we have now. Because when I came in 2006, which again seems like a million years ago now, but Coach Childress comes in. We're doing 2 days for the first 6 or 7 days of practice. And you're beating on each other, and you're going through that. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But you earn the right to play through training camp. And now, and then you go to preseason. It was always like you play the first series, you play the first quarter, then you play the whole half.
Right.
And you come out the start of the second half, and you get that first series, and you're done. And the fourth preseason game, you don't play. Or maybe you play a series.
Yeah, that was it.
And what I liked as a player, and I think anybody who competed at any level understands this, is like game speed is simply different than practice. I don't care if you have... you can argue, and Adam Thielen said this a couple weeks ago, which I didn't agree with, was like those competitive practices they're having with the Ravens and they've had over the years with the 49ers, et cetera, they're still not a game. It's still a practice. You're still in your practice locker room. You're walking out with practice. It's, if you're not full tackle, you're not taking somebody down, you're not going after the quarterback, it's a different mentality when you're in the game locker room, when it's for real, when it's in front of people, regardless of the number of people there. And it's for real on tackling and blocking and doing all the things that matter. To me, that's why I think these guys should play. Now, coach makes a decision off injuries and all the past history. I get it. I want to see these guys play and see what we have. And I think from a fan standpoint, we'd like to see that as well, because I think these preseason games, in my opinion, become almost unwatchable.
Yeah, they do become unwatchable, and that's it's friends and family tonight at Mile High. Now, maybe this is a bit different because Kevin O'Connell, in his 5th year, has treated this a little bit differently. Into tonight's game, throughout the week, it's JJ will play if he can, and he's nicked up with the ankle. It's just never ending with these little issues, injury and health wise. But Wentz could get reps tonight. Brosmer, a significant part of the game as it is. When you were a player and you played in the league, so it'd be ridiculous for me to challenge you on this. I just hear so often like you're a defensive player. So it doesn't really matter what's going on the quarterback side or the offensive side. I'm just focused on getting, B-Flow's scheme down and all of that. But it does feel like it can grate on a person over the course of time. Just any outside noise that can creep in year after year after year. What's going on at QB? What's happening here? And it's like we're putting all this work in, and these are your teammates. You're going to support them to the very end, the bitter end. But can we just be done with that? Can we just figure that out? That has to creep in a little bit.
I think stability and knowing who that position is going to be and knowing they're going to be really good to great every year, every game, and consistent just takes it changes the culture and mood of your team. And my best example is when we had in 2009, when we had Sage as our starting quarterback, and we had a really good roster that was win now, ready to go, almost at every position.
You're going to rip on Sage, aren't you?
No, I love Sage. But at that point, I love Sage, good NFL quarterback, right? Great backup, played for a long time.
Iowa State's finest.
But that's the only negative on it. But as soon as we get Brett, again, like Brett was obviously going to be Hall of Fame, but he's also 40 years old. He has all these other things and question marks. But as soon as he walked in the building, the entire building shifted because now we knew. It wasn't like, well, we think. It was like we knew we were going to be good because the roster had, the roster was really good.
It was.
If we could stay healthy, that's always the question. Now you get a quarterback at the only position you have to be good, basically. And now we have him, and the team, I think, just it's almost uplifting. It's the morale is better. It's like you believe it rather than you think it. And I think that's the one thing we haven't had here for essentially since 2006. Over, of course, maybe you've had a couple years here or there. You're starting to get it with Teddy. He gets injured. You're starting to get with some of these players, and they leave. We've had a couple of those situations with Darnold, et cetera, Keenum. So we haven't had that long-term stability where, like, we just know. You turn on the tape on Sunday, you watch the game, and you're going to get what you're going to get every time.
And I don't want to bring belabored negatives, but you bring up Teddy. Did you feel it the way I felt it as a Rube, where he had turned a corner
1,000%.
In that preseason, that this is your final year with the Vikings?
Yep.
And we know about the kick, and it was cold, and it was awful against the Seahawks the winter before. But and I think it was a Chargers game when there was like some Berkovici cat. It was either Chargers or Rams preseason game. and he's just ripping it like we've never seen Teddy rip it before. All the practices, there's oohs and ahs, that there was a step taken, and then obviously, sadly, that was taken away from him.
Yeah, you could feel it because you felt it in that last drive of the Seahawks game to get us in position to make that kick. It's just a man's drive, a quarterback that was just grown up in front of our eyes.
That pass
but a lovable, likable guy that is a great character guy. He's a great for the community. He's a great teammate. He's all the things, and now he's taken this big, massive step that we drafted him for that. We're excited about it. Now he takes it, and then, of course, the injury and everything goes sideways. But the reality is that's just how this goes. Is there's so many more chances for it to fail than for it to be successful. And we just haven't been able to find that continuity at that position. And I think the one thing you have with Kyler and his position and his age is essentially another chance. If he walks into this thing and can be as good as we hope, he still has enough years on the tires, right? To say this is a sustainable 5 to 10 year quarterback if he can be good and we can afford to pay him next year.
Man, I hope everyone loves their kids the way Zimmer loved Teddy.
Oh, it's hard to see that look in somebody's eye, right? You just love.
He refused to acknowledge Keenum as a human.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That. Just thinking back to that moment in my life when that happens with Teddy, and you care about a teammate, you care about a guy who just gives it right back to you, right? You come across people like as much as you give and love, like he gives it right back as a teammate, and he cares about you. And but to see him go down like that and then have to suffer through that was just a hard thing to see as an athlete, to see a guy go through that stuff, and he's somehow still playing. I think he may be.
He just retired like last week.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Right.
Playoff run in December.
Yeah, we've been through this before.
Yeah.
We've been through this before.
Just like Harrison. He'll be back in about, 2 weeks?
I hope so.
That's what I think.
Well, what do you think?
I've been texting
him
like
you got
crazy.
A number, right?
Yeah. I'm like, how much are they going to offer you, and why wouldn't you? You missed all the stuff that you don't want to do.
Right,
camp.
exactly.
You hate
Come
the
in
offseason. Trust me, he's even older than I was when I was playing. He hates the offseason, but yet he's in great shape. Like he's been working out and training.
Do we know he's in great shape?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not the kind of guy that ever gets out of shape. He never will, but he's also the guy that in the back of his mind, he hasn't retired. I know this for a fact.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to preach the hope, but I'm just telling you, my guess is he's going through, the team is going through all the BS, right? Jamal Adams comes in, unfortunately, with an injury now. It's like you have a spot here where it's like a perfect fit, and you're not going to ask him to do a lot. You could ask him to play 15 to 20 snaps a game is all.
Right.
Which at the end of my career, my last year, I played average 25 snaps a game. But what more do you bring to the team? All of a sudden, somebody goes down. Now you slide over, can play because you haven't had all the wear and tear of a season.
Right.
He doesn't want to go to training camp. That's over.
Right.
Now's the time.
September
Now's
5th.
the time.
I don't know. Pick a date. September 15th. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever he has time to prepare for week 2. They're not going to guarantee a contract, so it'll probably not be there week 1. So it'll be week 2.
Yeah, he likes playing against the Packers, though.
That's a good point.
Well,
he does well against the Packers.
You know him well, played with him, obviously. Everyone talks about how smart he is. That's clear.
Yeah.
But he's kind of he's a freak athlete.
We're talking football smart.
Listen, what people don't...
No, he flies planes and stuff. I think Hitman's he's a legit super bright guy.
He gets way too much credit for being a nice guy. Guy's a psychopath. Like he's changed over the years, and he's grown up a lot. Like it's
family
fun.
and time, right?
It's like older brother Chad, to watch these guys, the Adam Thielens, the Harrison Smiths, watch these guys, Anthony Barrs, Eric Kendricks, all these guys. You watch them come in as a 22, 21, 22-year-old kid, and then they literally grow up. They get married, they have kids, they start families. It's amazing. But what Harrison was when I played with him, he was a straight up psychopath. Him and Sendejo at safety, absolute. You better get make the tackle because they're coming and they have no regard for the back of your knee.
No,
and I'm old. I'm like 30 at the time, 31, and they're coming. And
Sendejo had a radius, didn't he? Because you knew you weren't safe. He was headhunted.
There was no wrap tackle. It was just like a spear, like no hands, like a human projectile. And he gets way too much credit for being smart, although he is extremely smart, bright. But he also. His ability to have just a feel for the game. I always I think, in my opinion, Eric Kendricks had the best feel and natural instincts of anybody that I probably played with, aside from maybe Antoine Winfield. So, but Harrison has that. And his ability to show and go and not go, and he's manipulating quarterbacks like quarterbacks have done to defenses for years. He's doing that, and that's what's fun to watch. But if he's done, he's done. But he can come back and give us one more, I think.
Do we have the audio from Jared Goff? about Harrison Smith because this seems like the perfect segue right here.
Yeah.
Jared Goff this week was talking about what it's like to play against Brian Flores.
Yeah, it's that.
And
have you seen that
Smith.
Greenlight podcast? Is that Chris Long that does it?
I've seen that, but I don't listen to it
Yeah,
regularly.
it's a terrific podcast. Let me see. We'll play it here. Yeah, it's about a minute long. It's Goff, Jared Goff of the Kitties, chatting about B-Flow and Harrison Smith.
What's the most obscene thing that you've seen B-Flow do post-snap?
Oh, God.
Like, are you kidding me? Because just to be able to play Tampa 2 with the way he does from, like, I've seen him play, they're mugged up, and Metellus is like...
Yeah, and like Harrison and Metellus allowed them to do things that I'm not sure every other team could do.
Yeah.
Those guys are so smart and so confident in what they want to do that they are able to hold down and get out of there at the snap, and with no repercussion, but they know where their problems are, and they understand the game in that way, which makes it really hard. You know, I don't know. I mean, Harrison's been doing it for years where he stands on the line of scrimmage and plays the deep third. And I'm like, there's no way we can allow him to do that.
Yeah,
like that's
you can't
crazy.
let him get away with this.
You can't let him get away with this. But yet he
just keeps getting away with it.
He's a gold jacket guy in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for 12 years.
I agree.
15. How long has Harrison been playing? And got me on one last year and. It's really fun playing against them. It's very hard. It is challenging, but it is really fun, that chess match and the work that goes into that.
Now imagine you're at the line of scrimmage, right? The snap count's going, the quarterback's looking, you got motion coming at you, you have all these things and decisions to make, and then you have the middle deep third of a defense with these nasty receivers on the outside that can run by you, because Harrison is very fast, but these guys are faster than him. So anticipating, understanding, knowing route concepts so I can beat you with my mind before you beat me with your feet, essentially is what has to happen at this point for Harrison. And he does it. And you have, Jared Goff has been one of the best quarterbacks, most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL for the last few years.
Yeah.
Saying that about a guy who's 34 years old, which is just incredible. It just goes to show you the respect that people have for him, and it's not surprising at all.
Is that part of the conversation then? We're looking Jacob Thomas, this undrafted cat from James Madison. He was a Cignetti recruit. I think he went to the same high school as Ty Felton. So,
really?
Yeah, small world as it is.
Yeah.
But he's been a face that has been really changing faces and opinions in terms of that safety room. But the communication aspect of it is a topic that, I kind of sit on the fringes on because I just can't begin to understand the intuitive part of it combined with maintaining the scheme and all the things that happen pre-snap. If you're taking Harrison out of that mix, that's a lot to put on Metellus' shoulders and a young cat like Jacob Thomas, Jay Ward in there. We know all the names, but that's kind of a big aspect of what you're taking out of it with number 22 that he's done so well for so long.
Yeah, I think thinking about this in a different way, college athletes and even high school athletes now, like they have a bad rap, right? With they're getting paid, they're making all this money, play college football, and they're bouncing around, and all that stuff about college athletics that we either love or hate. But the one thing I would say about players coming into the league now is I think they're much smarter than we were back when I was coming out. I think
smarter in every respect.
Well, with me specifically, yes. But I'm talking about just in general, football players is coverage concepts, understanding we can play two coverages on different sides of the field. We can give quarterbacks different looks. Like those are things that we weren't doing in college, coming out of college. Now, some players probably were. I wasn't coming out of Iowa. We would just sit in about 4 defenses my whole college career and just beat you up, and you weren't going to beat us, and we were good enough to do that. But coverage concepts especially, so we're talking about safety, having to come in and work with B-Flow's defense, these guys are smart. They understand these coverages. They understand what we're trying to do, and B-Flow's ability to teach that really comes down to be the most important thing. Can I sit down a young safety and help him understand the picture of why we're going to play quarters here and half here, what the quarterback's trying to get and what we're trying to show him? If you can sit a guy down who loves football, who's a young guy, who's soaking it up like a sponge to say, here's why, and he understands it, now can you go do it full speed, which is a whole other world, right? Now with pads on, can you tackle and do all the physical stuff? But B-Flow's ability to teach when you have complex systems like this really is what makes him really good. It's not about dialing up this or dialing up that. It's about teaching guys. Either guys have this understanding or they don't. And sometimes you draft a kid and you have these pre-draft tests and visits and you do an IQ test. Great. Now you get into football and say, okay, now it's this.
Yeah.
Some guys don't learn that way. Some guys got to learn on the fly. Can't read it. They got to go out and do it. So B-Flow's ability to teach is his best asset. And at the end of the day, coaches are teachers, right? So that's what, to me, is the most impressive thing. When you have a young guy coming in having success, it's because B-Flow's ability to teach this defense to young kids that come in to say, hey, we're ready to go in a couple weeks against the Packers, like at full go. That's what's amazing to me, and he does not get enough credit for.
When I see Dominic Orange backing up into coverage. I'm like, oh, man, in a preseason game.
The best.
I'm like, okay, we're schooling these kids up and asking a lot. I love it.
It's a more from a player standpoint. You know, I sat in the Tampa 2 for 8 years, right, with Tomlin and Leslie and all these guys. And you play a little bit of man. We did that. We sat the bend but don't break Tampa 2. We're going to keep everything in front of us. We're going to tackle everything in front of us. Frustrating from a fan perspective, right? Because it's 3rd and 6. We're playing at the sticks. They get a first down.
Yes.
Advance the chains. But pretty soon they get 30 yards, and then we get a stop. They can't sustain it because they can't ever go over the top of us. Well, when you play that style, then you go to play Zimmer style. It's like, well, this is a lot more fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Because you're being the offense.
Yeah, you're the aggressor.
You're taking the system and scheme to them and say, we're going to show you something. Now what are you going to do about it? Rather than just sitting back. Now, of course, there's a defense for every situation, right? And sometimes sitting back in a shell and just keep everything in front of you is a smart play. And a lot of times B-Flow's doing that. It'd be amazing to run when we run Zimmer's defense. We show them the most exotic, crazy thing. And you're like, how's this going to work? All of a sudden, you have a 3 technique floating around. All of a sudden, it's really just turned into cover 2, and we're rushing the front 4. But it's what we're giving you to look at that's fun and exciting. But when after the snap goes, about 1 second, 2 seconds, you look at it, it's like, oh, that's just cover 2. That's nothing exotic at all. It just, but to the untrained eye, right, it looks like chaos. And that's what you're trying to give these guys.
So that's Chad Greenway. Paul Charchian is here. I'm Nordo from 9 to noon. The Friday football feast is going to continue around the corner. This was our, let's do it, our Steve's Appliances marathon segment. Go to stevesappliances.com. Always sweet deals. I've had a washer, a dryer, a range, dishwasher, fridge from them, working perfectly in my home. Check out all the deals. A wonderful place, wonderful company, great people. stevesappliances.com. One more with Chad Greenway around the corner right here on the Fan.
Join KFAN at the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through Labor Day. We'll be broadcasting live daily with brand new station merch, along with your chance to win.
One more segment out here at the State Fair with Chad Greenway, Nordo, and Charch on a Friday football and fantasy feast. What's fresh with Grey Duck, Mr. Greenway?
I was just noticing this bandwagon Chiefs fan sitting front row out here.
Yeah.
But a Chiefs fan says what, Mahomes got drafted probably? Yeah. Since I was a little wild. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Hank Stram and the power trap. There we go.
There you go. Okay. We'll let it slide then. You went through some tough years. Grey Duck's been great. We've had an incredible summer. The one thing that's interesting in this industry now, in the spirits industry, is it's a tough one. It's a grind.
It's very hard right
and
now.
I like to think Minnesotans have taken care of us because our brand continues to grow and scale at a rate above almost everybody else's in the market, which is awesome. So I like to think that over the last 8-9 years, like we've been able to build this kind of relationship with Minnesotans to say, hey, here's who we are. We're Minnesota made. Every piece of our product that goes into it's Minnesotan, and we make a really good product. And bottled right there in Burnsville. And you're pretty close. You should come over and help bottle once in a while.
I can do that.
We pay pretty well.
You guys keep tabs on the quantity?
What are the inventory controls like?
If a couple bottles sneak away, or even sometimes a case drops off the truck.
You guys you guys plan for a certain amount of shrink every year?
A little bit of shrink, yeah. So, but the brand has been doing really well, and I've been so pumped about just how it's gone and considering the industry. And the fun part is we're just about to announce on the social, so I might as well say it here, is we're going to do a fall tour. So think about me being like a musical act that everybody wants to come see, which is obviously not true. We're doing a fall signing tour.
You're not going to sing, right?
Absolutely not. And we're focusing on outstate Minnesota, so out of the metro. We've obviously done a ton of stuff in the metro. So we're going to see us from Fairmont, Windham, Worthington, all the way up north. We're going to be all over. So we're going to post those dates and times where we're going to be out there. We do basically three stops every trip we do. Be about an hour to an hour and a half at each stop. And we're trying to just, thank everybody, sign bottles, and have a presence as football season ramps up to say, hey, thanks for supporting us. And also, like, if you're going to keep buying it, you might as well have a signed bottle. and check it out. So look for that on social media. We'll be pushing it hard. And if you get a close location, we're not in Utah, Charchie, but
start working that way.
Come see us. We got Paynesville, Long Prairie. We got a bunch of spots.
What about Laverne?
We're not doing Laverne.
All right, Laverne. Well, Laverne's near Wyndham.
Laverne is about 12 miles from the border. I drive by Laverne a lot.
En route to Sodak?
Yeah, Worthington's the closest we'll get to Sodak, I think. Morris.
Right.
We're going to Morris, too. Morris is another one. That's pretty close to South Dakota, just too far north for me.
Hey, give me what's going on now that I've been gone for a little while? What's going on with the state of beverage THC drinks? Are those going away? Did I see that right, or is that
not going away at this point? No.
Okay. Is it under threat of going away?
There's some threat going on. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But what's currently out there, for the most part, will be okay and stay.
Okay.
But it won't be growth into the industry is how it works. I don't know the exact verbiage and what's going to be allowed or not, but it's definitely under attack.
Are the regular alcohol distillers trying to do away with the liquid THC because it's extra competition? I mean, do you know what's going on politically with that?
I specifically try to stay out of politics,
okay.
But
yes.
I'm sure the lobbyists have something to do with that and trying to get something done. It would make sense, just like everything in the world.
It felt like a rat race from the craft side, though.
Yeah.
When it first became an option, you saw everybody every tap room in town had their THC version.
Yep.
Right.
I think there are different rules around doing that, though.
Yeah,
so
there's a
whatever
ton of
it
rules.
costs you to be a brewery, if you do add the THC component, here's XYZ additional steps.
That's way above my pay grade within the Grey Duck Spirits brand.
Okay.
I don't deal with anything with legality because it will definitely be illegal if I take it on. As a good South Dakota boy, we just tend to bend the rules and ask for forgiveness. So we're going to not do that.
It did seem to be that there was a pull, though. I don't know if you ever felt the pull, but I saw it within the craft markets where, well, we kind of got to do it.
You had to do it.
Because other people are doing it, and if we're not doing it, someone's not going to come to our brewery. But it feels like maybe that's fizzled or at least leveled out a bit, where it's like we make damn good beers.
Yep.
We do European lagers, we do IPAs, and all this, and we're just going to go back to doing what we're really, really good at.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in the craft industry is you have to have a tasting room. You have to have some place that you can control, that you can get your products out there where people can taste and you can actually make some cash. Especially some of these guys who are self-distributing on that side, it's tough. It's a slog. So we have great partners. Obviously, Johnson Brothers, our distributor, it's been a great partnership for the last 8-9 years, and they've continued to push our products hard for what we are. And I think that's the best part for us is I think the thing I'm most proud of, regardless of the dollars I make or don't make within that company, or the money we've given back to the community. It's the fact that you started something from nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. I invested $0 into it. We invested as a company very little. Did our first run, and then the business has literally built itself. We've never threw more money at it, and we just said we're going to see what happens and see what we can do. And none of the 5 of us at Grey Duck have ever had any experience. And I'm sure a lot of people out there have had starting experience with a business and say, hey, we're just going to trust our work, trust the relationship building process, and it's worked, which is awesome.
All right, last thing for you here. Just because we're on air, I'm going to lock you into joining PA and Charch a week from today, next Friday here at the fair.
Charch twice in a row in like a week.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
It's like old times.
It is.
I got to kind of rip that scab off again. Just let her bleed out a little bit, just get a feel for it.
I sat in a vehicle with him for an hour and 20 minutes this morning, driving him here to the fair.
That was long. I mean, you do have the Lyft or Uber app, right? Come on, bro.
You can't Uber into the fair.
The entire thing was a con game on my part to make sure he actually showed up.
Got here on time.
Yeah, that's the only way.
You have a sad history of being late.
I really do.
Yeah. as do I.
You know how this rolls.
Oh, it's brutal.
Just Snelling, not moving. Como, not moving.
Try
the bus.
I went around the North Falcon Heights and went back. I'm starting to become. I'm an old hair now. I got a little gray hair in me. I've been here a bunch of years. I took the side roads back in, avoided all the traffic. Because I would rather drive to Wisconsin and back than sit in traffic.
No, that's the worst.
And I almost did that, but it worked. So, yeah, I made it.
But next Friday, when you're here and you join PA and Charch, will J.J. McCarthy be a member of the Minnesota Vikings?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think that I'm not advocating for that.
No, I understand.
I love the young quarterback and give him time to mature and understand what we have. I think there's a time. But there's a time in a player's career, right, when the organization is going to look at this, where's the value at and what can we get? And when you go start a season like we're starting now, like there's there's an arms race for these types of players out there for organizations to come in and grab something that they want because they don't have it, and they're willing to give something up because we're on the precipice of the season. So GMs, coaches start to panic to say, I need that. I need it now. I don't care what it's going to cost me. And I think the Vikings, my opinion would be the Vikings will look to do that. I'm not advocating for it. I think that's a real possibility.
What if it's this scenario? Vikings are shopping JJ. There's no buyers. Now you're 53. You got to cut down to 53. You've been shopping JJ, no buyers. Then what do? You
hold them. You hold them and grow them and mature them and you develop them because when you don't know what you have with Kyler yet, which we don't, and you have obviously a veteran Carson, like you have a chance still, and that's the complete flip of this is you have a young quarterback who, let's be honest, there's a lot of quarterbacks who sat and then finally learned, grew up, and then were able to play. 100%.
Get it here.
And now the real issue that's kind of crept into this, and it's always been a part of the conversation, is the fact that his ability to stay healthy. I mean, at the end of the day, and play. I'm not saying he's not playing through things he should. I'm just saying that's part of the mentality of saying I'm going to grind through this regardless of what I'm going to look like or feel like or how I'm going to perform. And that's just part of, I think, his mentality and maybe maturity that will eventually come.
They're honking that horn for a clock manager.
I was going to say.
It's time for one more with Chad. I'm not trying to kick him out of here.
Hey, Chad, what's the best ability?
Availability. Bam. Show up, be on the field. That's why you play through things.
Chad Greenway, ladies and gentlemen. Hey,
thanks,
thank you so much for hanging out with us, brother. We're going to talk to another former teammate, Ben Lieber.
Oh, I don't know him. Yeah. Not familiar.
He's around. He's around.
He's the best.
Chad Greenway is the best. He'll be with us next Friday. And when we return, Charch is here. I'm Nordo, and PA's in Denver. But we're going to catch up with Ben Lieber as we continue Vikings conversation leading up to tonight's Friends and Family affair, the third preseason game against the Denver Broncos. You're listening to the Friday Football and eventually Fantasy Feast here on 9 to noon, The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored